Somebody look at your neighbor and say, she finna bring it tonight. I say somebody look at your neighbor and say, she finna bring it tonight. And if you ain't got a neighbor, look at yourself and say, she finna bring it to fuck a night. Oh, we gonna jump right into it, cause that's how we do it over here. I ain't gonna tarry too long tonight, y'all. But folks have been asking me. He said, so, madam, what's going on with that movie called Sinners? Most of y'all done seen the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie and then come back and listen to this video. He said, what ancestors done showed you about that movie? Come on, let's do it. We jumps right into it. Now, when you look close at the movie Sinners, I want to ask you a question. What is it talking about? What is it about? What was the main scenes that we saw in that movie? We saw the church / the pastor. We saw what they call the sinners / the club. We saw the workers / the field. And the workers in the field represented the ancestors / the bloodline. And we also saw the vampire spirit that represents the powers that be, etc. And it also represents the transference of spirits. Somebody said, what is the transference of spirits? The word transference means the action of transferring something or the process of being transferred. I want y'all to remember this word right here. So when we put everything together, what is this movie saying to us? What is this movie saying to us without saying it? And Sister said, what this movie is saying is that there is a vampire type spirit. It's been going around in the past, and it's especially going on at a time such as this. And it's moving through the church. It's moving through the clubs / the strip clubs and the different clubs that the people are going to. It's moving through the music industry, etc. And that vampire spirit is trying to take the energy of people's older bloodline ancestors and the energy of people's future bloodline ancestors. I'm talking about you and me, our kids, our moms, dads, sisters, etc. That's why we see so many sacrificial lambs in the industry of people's kids, mamas, brothers, their bloodline. And that rabbit hole would go deeper. Now let's talk about some of the scenes of the movie. And sisters, they gave it to me just like this. And when you look at the beginning of the movie, when Sammy, that's his name, Sammy, he walked in the church with his clothes tore up, scratches and blood all over his body and all over his face. And he was carrying just a piece of the guitar. Now, if you pay close attention, you will see that this scene right here is the same scene as the scene towards the ending of the movie. We just see it play all the way out towards the end. So I'm going to explain from this scene right here, the scene towards the end. Because the ending is the beginning. And the beginning is the end. When we look at the scene play all the way out, Sammy walk into church, scratches all over his face, bloody, etc. And his daddy, also known as being a pastor of the church, he tried to get him to repent of his sins and be active in the church. Ain't nobody even cleanse him or nothing. But what did Sammy do? He ain't even staying at church. He drove off with the guitar clutched to his chest. What was that scene trying to tell us, my people? What was they telling us in that scene? The reason Sammy didn't even stay in the church, y'all, because even the PTB, the powers that be, they know this right here. Sammy ain't staying at church is because he knew that the church couldn't even save him. How can you go to a place, / the church, that was based on a lie and expect to be saved? I told y'all before, if they didn't treat us right, what make you think that they gonna teach us right? A savior that can save us? After they done kept us in bondage for so long? That same vampire type spirit is operating in most of these pastors today. Most of these pastors is down with the PTB, the evil Masonic order. And every time they pray for somebody and put their hands on somebody, it's a spiritual thing, y'all. They pass that spirit on, kind of like the movie Fallen. And every time he was touching somebody, that spirit, it was passed on to the next person, to the next. I said, most of these pastors today is part of some evil shit that's going on in the background, in the fucker Kabaka. That's what that scene was showing us. And that rabbit hole right there, it go much more deeper. Moving on to the next. I told y'all in the beginning of the video, this movie is speaking of different things. And we got to know how to put it together to know what it's speaking about. Now, the next scene that I want to speak on is about cornbread. Y'all remember the character Cornbread in this movie Sinners? Here he is right here. After Cornbread, he got bit by the vampire spirit. And Annie, Slim, and Smoke, they was standing by the door. And Cornbread, he couldn't just walk in the club. After he been walking in and out of the club doing different stuff, he couldn't walk in the club. He had to be invited in. Somebody say, so madam, what was that scene telling us? This scene was speaking about those celebrities, etc., who signed down with blood oaths to make blood sacrifices. These people ain't forced to sign that deal. They ain't got no gun to their heads being forced to sign a deal to give up the sacrificial lamb. It's a choice that they make, y'all. They have to accept the invitation / the invite to go in and get the sacrifice done. I want to make that clear to you. It's something accepted. And once that celebrity or that person, they accept the invite for that blood sacrifice. And let me say this. It ain't only celebrities that's making blood sacrifices. It's doctors, teachers, etc. that's giving up blood sacrifices as well. So once that celebrity or that person accept the invite for that blood sacrifice, that's when that vampire type spirit is allowed, okay, to come in and possess that person's body, they mind, possess their soul. And then they end up walking around like a empty shell. Some people done seen possessed people. Some people can't even tell unless you have an eye to be able to see. Like Jay-Z said in his song, and he would know, because he one of them. He said, and now they're lethal infected with the evils / devils / vampire type spirits / the powers that be, the evil powers that be, etc., etc. And the head vampire, his name was Remick. This is what he told them. Watch the movie. He told them. He said no matter how much guns or money that they have, he said they gonna take it from you. Talking about the PTB, etc. He said they're gonna take it from you. He said it was all built on a lie. What was he talking about? The whole music industry making all them sacrifices. The doctors making all them sacrifices. Teachers making all them sacrifices, etc. Y'all thought y'all really were gonna get something. It was all based on a lie. Because in the end, you might make that sacrifice, but guess what? They end up becoming the sacrificial lamb. In that rabbit hole, it go much more deeper. But that's basically what that scene was telling us. They gotta accept the invite. They can't be forced. It's a choice to accept something so evil and diabolical. Moving on to the next. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. When you look at the movie, you see that they chose Michael B. Jordan, the famous actor, to play two characters at one time. He played Stack and Smoke, and they were known as being twins. Somebody say, why the maker of the movie, why he just ain't get twins to play the part of Stack and Smoke? Or they could have, just got two male actors to play the twins. They always do things for a reason. I'm calling out why they did it. I'm going to tell you why. I told y'all, this movie got different meanings. We got to know how to do what? Put it together. Let me break it down like this so you can understand. Listen closely. The characters, Stack and Smoke, that's their name. They represent one character, one person / one celebrity. For example, I said I'm going to break it down so you can get it. For example, Kanye West. Kanye West, he wanted to go in the game / the industry. And all he wanted to do was just share his musical talent, etc. He came in hungry. He came in innocent. He just wanted to make money from his music, like most celebrities. And I tell y'all all the time, if you let the devil ride, he gonna want to what? Drive. Kanye West just wanted to make a little money. And then Jay-Z came to Kanye West with that vampire type spirit. And Jay-Z did what? he invited Kanye West in. And Kanye West, he accepted the invite / the deal. And when he accepted, he ended up giving up what? The sacrificial lamb, his mama. And that's when that vampire-type spirit in Jay-Z was also passed to Kanye West. I told y'all before in the beginning of this video, a spiritual transference. That's what it was. A spiritual transference that went on. So when we see Kanye West today, that ain't really Kanye West. When we see Jay-Z, that ain't really him. And all them other, celebrities and different people. All them folks who got into that blood sacrificing deals. Celebrities, teachers, doctors, etc. That ain't them. That's a vampire-type spirit that's operating, that's working through them. That's what you call possession. And that rabbit hole go deeper. They go in one way, and they don't never come out. They end up changing to a whole nother person. That's why Slim, when he looked at Stack, he said, shit, I ain't know, Shitaka. I ain't know you be hanging with the devil. These people end up getting turned the fucker out. So when you look at the characters, Stack and Smoke, played by one actor, Michael B. Jordan, this just represents a famous person, a singer, a comedian, a doctor, a teacher that signed down with blood sacrificing. And they also became the sacrifice because their vampire-type spirit is now what? Been spiritually transferred to them. They came in one way, and they don't never come out. They end up getting possessed and taken over. Now I'm going to bust your head with this one right here. Ancestors gave it to me like this. Let's put it together now. And Ancestor said, I want you to look close. And I want you to look close at the